Web3 TV.
Hello and welcome to Web3 TV. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today we're at the Dubai AI Festival. And joining me right now is Bhuvan Batra, CEO of Bellboy. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And how's the day been so far? How are you enjoying Dubai?
It's good. It's great.
Yeah,
We've had directors of large hospitality group visitors and a lot of other relevant clients. And we also found a lot of companies where we can collaborate and work with them. So amazing place for us.
Yeah, it's a great place for networking.
Absolutely.
And I think you are trying to solve one of the biggest problems for hospitality companies or hotels in general. So tell me a little bit more about Bellboy and how you're using AI.
Sure. So in short, Bellboy creates AI voice agents for hotels and holiday homes. So when you go to a hotel, you pick up the phone. Typically, you have to go through the painful IVR. Sometimes they don't understand what you're saying. Sometimes they forget, and you have to follow up for a simple request of, let's say, a bottle of water, right? So all of that is all automated by the AI voice agent. So we enable hotels to handle guest queries in 60 plus languages, 24/7, and also help increase the revenue for the hotels by smart upselling.
And so how does that actually work? Because I know a lot of the times when you go to a hotel, you want a personalized experience. So how can you trust that these AI agents, because they're agents, right, are providing that service?
Yeah, no, very fair. So a couple of things. One, we have our own proprietary knowledge base, which gets trained on two data sets. One is the available data which we have of the guests, and the second is all the data which we get from the hotel. So with the combination of both of these, we are able to handle 75% of the guest requests, which are typically very repetitive in its nature. Once we also know your preferences, so for example, if you're a vegan, we have your dietary restrictions and you ask for in-room dining, we're not even gonna offer you anything else because we already know that you're a vegan. And that's when the whole personalization comes in, which can actually give you a much better guest experience.
And in terms of how this affects, let's say, these people that are currently doing these jobs, will these AI agents take their jobs?
So actually, no. What we help them do is that let them actually focus on high-touch guest services. So hospitality is all about if your request is not catered in time. So let's say you ask for a bottle of water, and you have an amazing conversation, or the person is very nice to you on the phone, but it takes them 45 minutes to deliver that water bottle. It will result in a bad experience for you. So, and that is where we come in. We let the front desk staff or the hotel staff actually focus on the high-touch guest services, or rather the execution of these services, and not manage these repetitive phone calls which they get from guests.
And when we look at, let's say, what type of hotels would use this service, I mean, Dubai in general is very targeted when it comes to luxury travelers and discerning guests. So can this service be used for, let's say, the ultra-high luxury hotels, or are we talking more mid-range? Or
So we typically target, our sweet spot is, I would say, a mid-sized hotel with 250, 300 rooms. And we cater to both luxury and even the 4-star hotels as well. Again, the sweet spot is other 4-star hotels. With the luxury hotels, what we're creating is a system which works very seamlessly on an iPad, which gives you a much better visual experience, I would say. But yeah, I would say our sweet spot is probably a 4-star hotel, mid-sized room. So that's what we look for.
Okay, interesting. So, but this summit that we're here at today focuses on AI and how it's disrupting or changing many industries, or all industries in one sense, across all sectors. So in your opinion, what is the biggest impact AI has on hospitality?
So in general, hospitality as a sector is, I would say, the last one to adopt technology. Also because it's a rigid industry. Softwares and processes are there since decades, right? But having said that, and that's why I feel hospitality is very ripe for disruption, especially by AI, because when we actually dug deeper, we realized that a lot of processes in the backend are very repetitive and something which can be easily automated. And in general, in hospitality, the staff is typically overloaded with a lot of work or tasks which they have to do. And that's where we come in, and that's where we feel the AI agents, starting from, let's say, creating AI agents, which can also take up and also book a room for you. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily need a human because it's a very transactional conversation where you'll ask information about the property, that information shall be provided, and then you book a hotel, right? And like I said earlier, that we're not here to replace humans. So what we're doing is that, yes, 20% of the communication will still be handled by the humans, which are very complex or peculiar cases, but rest of that can be easily handled by AI.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And just lastly, I want to just ask you more about data handling of the information, because these AIs, they collect our data. So if, let's say, a customer is calling a hotel and an AI agent picks up the phone, they might not know that it's an AI agent, and they might not know that their data is getting collected. I mean, it's different when you call a hotel because that person, you might be a regular to that hotel, and you kind of have this trust with the hotel, but you might not have that same trust with the AI agent. So how are you sort of navigating that space?
No, so one is we are GDPR compliant. Second is all the data which is processed by us remains with the hotel because that's not our data. And we don't even use that information for anything else. It's pretty much like, even if you're writing something right now today on internet, that is processed by the likes of OpenAI to train their models, but is not linked to you directly as a person. So we sort of come in the same way. We use the data to train the models, but that's where it ends. We don't use the data to target any ads, do any sort of other intrusive activities for the user. And having said that about the whole part where you need to know, firstly, whether the conversation is recorded or not, or if it's an AI or not, we also specify that this is an AI agent you're speaking to. And again, if you need to get connected to a human, you can just say, connect me to a human. And it's as simple as that.
Okay. Yeah. So you have the option.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Well, if anyone wants to learn more about Bellboy, how can they get in touch?
So they can go on the website, which is bellboytech.com, and they can just book a demo with us, and as simple as that.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'll be bringing you more interviews. My name is Lisa Amnegard, and you're watching Web3 TV.
Web3